Hi guys, welcome back. So for our first video, we're gonna be talking about the things you should know before moving to the Netherlands. So this is for any students or any people that need to move here temporarily or is moving here permanently. This video is for you guys. Some of the stuff in here is also very useful if you're a tourist, visiting friends, or you're going to be traveling around the Netherlands. Some of this information is useful as well to you guys, so stay tuned. So we'll get started. The first thing you need to know when moving to the Netherlands is the payment methods used in the Netherlands are very different compared to other places. Meaning, a lot of places don't accept Visa, MasterCard, and those type of payment methods. You will have difficulty when wanting to pay for things, especially in restaurants, some grocery stores, just day-to-day basic stuff. It's gonna be difficult if you don't have something called Maestro. So Maestro is what Dutch people use. That's their method of payment. It's not Visa or MasterCard. So Ideal is what they use basically, and Ideal is what uses the Maestro. Now, if you're coming from within Europe, you'll have no problem because the banking systems are all connected. You won't have issues. But if you're coming from like North America, you're coming from Canada, you're coming from the US, I don't know where else you're coming from, you're gonna have difficulty if you're just moving here and you need to pay for stuff because you don't have the Maestro or you don't have like a European bank. So that's something you need to bear in mind. You need to make sure that you have other forms of payment or other ways to pay for things. Yeah, like cash or, just another way. So if you're in like a city like Amsterdam, sometimes even in bigger cities like maybe The Hague or Rotterdam, you might find a few places that do accept like Visa and stuff, but for the majority, the most part, they do not accept it. So unless you're in Amsterdam, because it's more touristic, they mostly use it to a certain extent, but you should always check. You should always check before paying or before you sit down at a restaurant because we don't want that type of embarrassment, But like, yeah, you should always check. That's very important. I always check, so I know. So that's something you guys should definitely do when moving to the Netherlands in the beginning. Before you have your bank account and bank card set up, make sure you check. Second thing I'm gonna say that you need to know before moving to the Netherlands is you need to allow yourself between 2 to 3 months before you can officially settle into the Netherlands. So when I mean settle, I mean like find housing and get like your bank card set up. You get your BSN, which is like your SIN number, your social security number. So to just do those 3 things will take you about 3 months. And that's because you need to wait and you need to go through it's a whole long tra-la-la. And I'm gonna get more into it, but I just want you guys to know that you need at least 2 to 3 months when you are trying to settle into the Netherlands. Another thing you need to know is booking appointments will literally save your life. Now, if you are like me, who don't like to book appointments, you will have a difficult time adjusting here in the Netherlands because they run on appointments. Like everything runs on appointments, and they are very no-show type of people. Like they always show up, and even if the appointment is like 5 weeks away, they will show up. They don't no-show. They cancel if they're gonna be a no-show, but they never do. They are very strict to scheduling and having appointments and those kind of stuff. So if you are not really like that, like me, you're gonna have a little bit difficulty. But booking appointments, even to get like your hair done, you need to book an appointment. So just bear that in mind. Like, get into the habit of having a schedule, because that will literally save your life. Because we are in these hard times with the coronavirus and all of this craziness going on, you should definitely check the requirements before coming to the Netherlands. I'm not gonna tell you guys what the requirements is right now, because what it is right now might change by the time whoever watches this video. But whether it be like you need to have like a booster done within the last 2 months, or you need to be like, I don't know, man, you need to have like a bunch of tests done. I don't know the answer, but you should definitely check the requirements before you move, not just to the Netherlands, but like to any country. Whoever, you need to check the requirements, because you know they just have all these requirements now, even just to travel. So you should definitely check that before moving to the Netherlands. Okay, so we're gonna talk about it. Dutch people. Now, when you move to the Netherlands, you will be among the Dutch people. And Dutch people, there's nothing wrong. There's different things people say about them, but like, one thing that is true is that Dutch people are very blunt. Now, some people say that's rude. And I understand why they say that, because, you know, I was coming from like North America. I lived in Toronto. I've been living in Toronto, like, you know, and they are definitely not the type to sugarcoat stuff. They are not very customer service as friendly as North America people are, businesses and stuff. So I see why people say they're rude, but I don't think they're rude. I just think they're very blunt. Like, they're very straightforward. Like, they're like, get to the point. And if you're not used to that, if you're used to someone being so friendly and so like, you know, chit chat, like Dutch people, they, you know, they might come across rude, but they're not really rude. They're just very straight to the point. So that's something you guys should know, because it might be a little bit of a culture shock to certain people, because they're more polite and they're more friendly and stuff like that. And Dutch people are polite and very friendly, but they just would be like, get to the point. So bear that in mind, especially in a business setting. They're the same way, you know. Like, I can't count how many times I've called businesses that I am ready to pay. I'm ready to give them my money. I'm ready to give these people my money. And I'm like, hello, how are you doing today? And they're like, hello. Just so. And then it just be quiet. I'd be like, I would like to book an appointment. Like, they don't even be like, oh, how are you? And then sometimes they just go straight to the point. Like, I'd be like, in Dutch, I'd be like, hallo, hoe gaat het met u? And then they'd be like, hallo, hoe kan ik u helpen? Just so. Like, they don't, we're not going to do the how are you? Like, you know, they just, they don't want to hear it. So I find it's funny. So I do it purposely, because I'd be shocked how many responses I get that's like, oh, I'm good, how are you? Which is like, honestly, if I've been calculating, I'm not gonna lie, it's like 10% friendliness response, like actual, like, oh, I'm good, how are you? 90% it's just like ignored. It's just like, hello. It's like, how can I help you? Like, just straight to the point. And it's just funny for me. So I do it on purpose. But I've always done that. Coming from Toronto people are so nice, especially businesses and stuff like that. So I'm used to that type of atmosphere. very customer service type, friendly type vibes. So, you know, just bear that in mind. So yeah, last thing I'm gonna say is, or you should know really before moving to the Netherlands, is that they literally bike everywhere. Like, biking is definitely like the most common mode of transportation. They even have bike lanes. The bike lanes have like traffic light stop. Like the bike lane has its own lights, which is hilarious, but it makes sense because they bike everywhere and there's so many people that bike. They bike in rain, they bike in everything. Yeah, Dutch people are very sportief, meaning like they're very sporty. So they dress very sporty because they bike and they walk a lot and stuff. So I rarely see people like dressed up. Plus the weather is always like sort of rainy, and then sometimes it's very cold, but it's not like as cold as Toronto, like snow and stuff. It's not like that. It's just like fallish weather, rainy weather all the time. That's mostly like some parts of Europe, including like London and stuff. So the Netherlands is like that. But Dutch people are very sportive, so they like to wear like, you know, their leggings or their like joggers and like a jacket, and you know, so it's just, that's the atmosphere, and that's because they bike and they just, you know, they take like the trains, the public transit, which is excellent. No one really drives. People do drive, but not as much compared to the amount of people here. There's no need to. The public transit is excellent. So yeah, but you don't have to worry too much because everyone bikes. So if you're moving here and you're just a person that drives, unless you're planning to, I don't know, get a car, which is totally not necessary, then you know, you don't really have to worry too much about it. Like if you don't drive, then you definitely don't have to worry about it here. So those are some things you should know before moving to the Netherlands, and I'm gonna elaborate on more things, but these are like the basic things you should know before moving to the Netherlands. And that's it.